scale, advancement has been used to denote when enlisted Coast Guardsmen attain greater technical skills and leadership responsibilities. Advancement also carried with it a modest salary increase, privileges, and prestige. These unpretentious ceremonies are held publicly to signify the entire crew their shipmate's new role within our service. By publicly accepting advancement, Coast Guardsmen also demonstrate their commitment to greater responsibility. It is for these reasons we have gathered here today. Petty Officer Amaral, will you and those pinning you please join me up front? Pinning Petty Officer Amaral today is his daughter Meadow, his wife Jennifer, and Chief Oliveira. Today is a very special day for Petty Officer Amaral, a day when his hard work and dedication pay off and provide an extremely well-deserved result. Attaining the rank of Chief Petty Officer is not an easy task, nor is it just another pay grade. Before we read the advancement certificate, I would like to give you a bit of history of the Chief Petty Officer. The nautical origin of the Chief Petty Officer goes back to April 1st, 1893, when the Navy created the rank. But the earlier use of the title Chief can be traced back to 1865 during the Civil War era. After the merger of the Revenue Cutter Service and the Life Saving Service in 1915, it was apparent that this new service, called the Coast Guard, needed to establish a higher enlisted authority. So on May 18, 1920, the 66th Congress approved and established the Chief Petty Officer grade. The Coast Guard Chief was distinguished by the inclusion of a Coast Guard shield, which was 1 inch in height and was affixed on the right sleeve midway between the wrist and elbow. The symbol of the Chief's authority is the anchor. It can be best summed up in the meaning of the anchor. Members of the Chief's Mess will now read the meaning of the anchor.
The meaning of the anchor. The anchor is the emblem of the rank of Chief Petty Officer. The anchor is fouled and has a shield superimposed to its shank. To the novice, this is meant to identify a Chief Petty Officer.
But to a chief, the chain, shield, and anchor have a much deeper meaning. The anchor is emblematic of a chief. It is stability and security. It reminds chiefs of the responsibility they have to keep those that they serve safe from harm and to maintain the finest traditions of the Coast Guard.
The historical significance of the shield dates back to the Revenue Cutter Service. Congress wanted cutters to be distinguished from other vessels by a unique ensign. That ensign, created in 1799, and in other sense, is the shield, a distinctive part of the design. The 13 stars and 13 stripes represent the 13 original colonies.
The chain is symbolic of flexibility and strength, to remind a chief that the chain of life is forged day by day, link by link. May it be forged with character and virtue in the fires of adversity that will be faced in the course of a career. It also stands for the reliance of one chief upon another to get the job done, and that every chief shall endeavor not to be the weak link in the chain.
Lastly, the chain found around the anchor, the sailor's disgrace, is to remind the chief that there may be times when there are circumstances beyond their control, yet a chief must still complete the task. It is during these times that humility and fortitude, learned ages ago at initiations or on bitter experiences, are brought to bear.
Military personnel, attention to the reading of the Frocking certificate. To all who shall see these presents greetings, know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of this first-class petty officer, I do hereby frock Victor Amaral, a chief boatswain's mate in the United States Coast Guard, to rank as such from the 15th day of November 2019. This appointee will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the grade to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. And this appointee is to observe and follow such orders and directions as may be given from time to time by superiors acting according to the rules and articles governing the discipline of the armed forces of the United States of America. Given under my hand at Woods Hole, Massachusetts, this 15th day of November in the year of our Lord, 2019. Signed, Captain Glander. Another symbol of the chief is the chief's hat. Prior to the Coast Guard changing our present uniform, when an individual advanced to Chief Petty Officer, their uniform also changed. The uniform change included a distinctive hat. Chief Amaral, you may now don your hat. now wear your Chief's combination cap. The hat has long been a symbol of the Chief. In the days when sailors wore dungarees and Dixie cups, the hat was the only uniform item that distinguished the Chief from his subordinates. While that is no longer the case today, I encourage you to wear it with dress uniforms in lieu of the garrison cap to further distinguish yourself as a Coast Guard leader. Wear it with pride. Military personnel at ease. Congratulations, Chief Amaral. Master Chief D'Angelo will now read the Master Chief Petty Officer Coast Guard's congratulatory letter.
Dear Chief Amaral, congratulations on your advancement to one of the most rewarding positions in your career, Chief Petty Officer in the United States Coast Guard. Being the Chief carries an enormous amount of responsibility. I am confident that you have the tools and abilities to perform those duties as you transition into a senior enlisted leader. You should expect that more will be demanded of you from both junior and seniors alike. As such, I would offer you a couple of pieces of advice that will serve you well. Always speak truth to power. When things don't make sense to you, you can be assured that they will not to those you lead. Be the voice of common sense. Look for ways to make those you lead successful, and don't let them fail. Let them enjoy their success as if their own. Accept their failures as if they were your own. Lead by example. Your integrity and passion to lead will always be on display, and the trust that juniors and seniors have for the Chief can be easily traded to lose. Treat everyone with dignity and respect, and demonstrate our core values. In doing so, you will garner trust. Again, trust is easy to lose and hard to regain. As a Chief Petty Officer, I expect you to participate and be a strong presence in the Chief's Mess. I also expect that at the first opportunity, you will participate in the Chief's call to indoctrination. This developmental process emphasizes team building, leadership, history, networking, and the importance and value of our Chief's Mess. Likewise, as a new Chief Petty Officer, you are expected to attend our Chief Petty Officer Academy at your earliest opportunity, Monday. You will find it to be a dynamic and professionally rewarding experience, and I consider it a condition of employment for every Chief Petty Officer. Again, please accept my heartfelt congratulations on your outstanding achievement. I am proud to wear the same uniform, which shows such inspiring and dedicated leaders like you. Bravo Zulu, signed Jason M. Vanderhaven, Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard.
Got one more letter from Captain Glander. Chief Amaral, I want to personally extend my congratulations to you on the occasion of your promotion to Chief Boatswain's Mate. The Coast Guard does amazing things every day because we attract and retain the best and most dedicated people our country has to offer. Our success is a direct result of providing talented, capable, and hardworking members opportunity to excel and selecting only the very best for assignment to positions of increased responsibility and trust. Promotion to Chief Petty Officer is special. Our chiefs lead, mentor, and shape the future of our service. Your promotion marks a significant achievement. This milestone represents a validation of your ability to lead the men and women under your charge in new and more significant ways. Your new role will be both challenging and rewarding, but I know you are up to the task. As you transition to the exciting leadership role, remember to value the contributions of shipmates and empower those assigned to you. Congratulations, C.J. Glander, Captain U.S. Coast Guard. Chief Amaral, you now have the opportunity to say a few words.
A few.
All right, I wrote this down because, as some of you may know, I'm probably not that smart to memorize all of it. I can barely read it. Thank you, everyone, for being here this Friday morning, especially those that could be heading home to be with your family. You took the time to be here with me. Thank you. Thank you, Chief Wilcox, for being the Master of Ceremonies and for setting this up for me. Thank you to the local Chiefs Mess for showing your support. Thank you, Deputy, for being here as well. Thank you. Thank you to the Coast Guard Auxiliary and the great things you have done for this unit. I'd like to thank all the local agencies that are here as well. I am honored that you came and showed your support. Thank you. I'd like to thank my family and friends that took the long drive to be here with me as well. As some of you may know, I have two awesome daughters, Amelia and Meadow. And Meadow would like to be in the Coast Guard someday. I have a fantastic wife, Jennifer, who made a lot of sacrifices to help support this family. She also was my motivator at home on those days I just wanted to give up. truly would not be putting on these anchors if it wasn't for you. I want to present these flowers. Everything you've done for me. In my time in the Coast Guard, I worked under and aside some great leadership in my career. A lot is standing right here in front of me today. What I learned in the Coast Guard is there's no job you can do alone. In order to be a great leader and be successful, you have to have some great people working with you. In the 4.5 years I've been stationed here, I've seen nothing but great things this unit has done. The amount of hours underway, boardings conducted, successful SAR cases, people trained, working with and training local agencies. These numbers seem to grow year after year. And it's because of your hard work and dedication. I want to thank you for helping me be successful in my career. Thank you. Also, having a boss that trusted me in doing my job here at the station as an operations petty officer, first lieutenant, and training petty officer. Thank you. I remember my first chief I worked for, Chief Bob Mosley. As a seaman on a 270, I looked at him like he was a legend. And you didn't want to piss off the chief. However, the longer I worked for him, I realized that we were like his own children. And he was always there to guide us. And during port calls, he would make sure we all kept together. This was his way of protecting us. When I looked up the history of the chief, I found the anchors I put on today represent stability and security. It also reminds chiefs of the responsibility to keep those who serve safe from harm's way. I hope to be the chief Bob Mosley was and do the same for you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. We have snacks and refreshments inside if interested. Again, please feel free to come view Barry's artwork as you pass by. Thank you again for coming, and I now ask everyone please come forward and congratulate our newest Chief Petty Officer.